All right, let's find out what Sven is covering today. Today's gonna be a little bit different. So those of you who know me personally know that I do some conversions for Fantasy Grounds. Let me see. VC was being a little weird, so I mean my XCam. That's why I says Starfinder. We're not doing Starfinder really. We're doing D&D. Trying to figure out why. So a lot of my stuff has been very odd today. Um, Game I've been playing for years with auto login, and now XSplit is being weird, making me relog in. I don't know what's going on. Okay, so as I was saying, those of you who know me, I do conversions for Fantasy Grounds. What that means is these modules and things that are in Fantasy Grounds start off as a book or a nowadays it's a PDF, or sometimes it's not even actual physical copies. But somebody has to then put all this information into Fantasy Grounds so that the dungeon master can then use it. And since it's a very time consuming process, you uh, then get paid for it to some extent. Um, Either sell it on dmsguild.com or Fantasy Grounds Smiteworks store. And if, by the way, if you look down below my Twitch channel, I have a link to some of my stuff. You can also search Schvenonius, my name, and you can see uh, all the stuff that I've done on DM's Guild. I think I have 6 titles, 5 titles, something like that on DM's Guild. Some of them are better than others. One of them is Pay What You Want, suggested price of $1. Augment crystals is really good. I also have Grappler's Handbook, which is by far a thing I always try to push on people. It's a great way to handle grappling for 5e. Really good. Different feats and different ways of doing it. So it's Grappler's Handbook is a great way to go. Um, I also have Candlekeep's uh, title, and what that does is it goes has all these random tables for what a book looks like, with the pages is what the pages are made of, what the binding is made of, uh, what language it's in, how much it costs, all these different things. It's a great fun way. My players loved it when we went through. They had found a bunch of library books. So okay, so this is what the book does. Now let's find out what it looks like. And we went through all these steps of rolling on all these tables, and they had a great blast. They said they really enjoyed it. So anyway, I have all these different titles to that I'm selling on DM's Guild. I also have the Alien Bestiary on Smiteworks, which is just a phenomenal 300 creatures, everything. And it's not just for sci-fi, although it's great for sci-fi robots and things, but it also has new elementals, dragons, giants, uh, undead, even has Cthulhu. Anyway, so enough of my point to all this is not just to sell my stuff. Be great if you want to buy something, go for it. But the real reason I'm mentioning this is what I'm going to show you some of today. I'm going to show you a little behind the curtain action um, on how to take a PDF. So say you find something out there on the interwebs, you buy a little adventure, and you first thing I would suggest is go to DM's Guild, type in that title, and see if they have it as on the virtual tabletop. Um, and So I'll show you that in just a moment, how to search for that. And then I'm going to show you how to take some of these things and incorporate it, convert it for Fantasy Grounds. Um, Now, when you're converting it for your own use, you can be a little bit sloppier than I am when I do it for me, but you'll understand the concept and get a little taste of what it takes to make this stuff happen. You can do this for a single encounter as well. So if you just want to pull something from somewhere else that you like, you can do it. So say even on D&D Beyond, I think you might have access to the reference manuals, I believe. I don't know. I'm not going to go there because I don't really know enough about what's on D&D Beyond and what's not. So first of all, though, I do want to really quick update my calendar, my message of the day. They had arrived. Let me see. Where was my calendar? Did I keep the time accurate? I did. It's 9:14. Okay, so I try to do this on the fly as I'm running the DM. As a DM, I'll type in like quick little notes here. Ping, ping, ping. This is what happens at certain times. I wasn't able quite to do that. I believe they were only 3 hours away, so it was 7:30. Um, this is Tuesday, 17th. Yes. So I'm going to say it was 3.5. So we're going to say they get there at 8. They arrive in Nashkel and head toward the guard City Watch offices. Give me just a second. All right, I'm back. And no, I didn't make you watch the intro again. I know you like it. Drake Takes did a great job, but no, I'm not going to make you watch it again. All right, so let's start off with a quote for today. Tusk the Barbarian always has the nicest clothes. They are all the rage. That's what Mantha said. All right, so they arrive in Nashkel and head toward the City Watch offices. I won't say headquarters. At 08:15. Captain Smilodon is not there. They head to the market and run across fodder. First order of D20 role players. So that was a lot of fun. If you guys missed it, check it out on the U's and the Tubes. The last Svenzone Nashkel homebrew. They came across these teenagers who were trying to sell potions to feed their addiction of their role-playing game that they play. People of Earth. Uh-oh, what happened? Oh, I put it in the wrong place. Okay, Control X. So it was something I normally don't do. I'm normally very serious. I don't like doing things like I mean, I've seen players in different campaigns and stuff will say, text me or, uh, you know, uh, I saw this, I saw this in on Yelp and it had 3-star reviews and things like that. I don't usually like that type of thing. To me, it breaks the immersion. Um, they're usually not even that funny. So as bad as I am with puns and things, I try to keep stuff, especially if I'm serious, if it's a character in the game or an NPC in the game, I try to keep it uh, within D&D realm, fantasy realm. Now, obviously, I'll joke. I've been told I'm the king of dad jokes and stuff, but we have a pun counter on this on my streams for a reason. But within the actual game, the real meat and bones of the game, I try to keep it serious, um, and keep modern stuff out of it. So I took a chance and went with this first order of the D20 role players, and my characters loved it. My players loved it, so we went with them. So it is now bring it down a little bit. Actually, yes. So I'm going to say Captain House is not there, so I'm going to jump this ahead. So I'm going to say it took them quite a while. 8:45 took them half an hour at the guards. So now it's 9 o'clock because they had to get to the market, go across town to get to the market, interact with them. It's now 9. I don't know why it's 9:14. I'm going to go ahead. So put cursor over it. When you've got the calendar open, use your mouse wheel, make it 9:15. Boom. All right. So here's your calendar. Have all that. So now I take this, put it in my message of the day. Don't need that image anymore. Delete. Um, so the date is still correct. We're just going to take this, doink, 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 copy it, paste it, and then just delete the extra lines. And the time is 9:15. Now within the calendar, you can send this stuff to the chat, which is what I usually do, and then just drag it over. But since all I needed to do was change those two things, I'm done. Click, delete, boom. All right. That's all I needed to do. Now, when we start playing, that pops up in the middle of their screen as a player, and it reminds them what they're doing and what they are. Normally, I have a map. There is no map right now. So what the goal is, they are eventually going to start heading into the sewers. Um, there's a city, the people down below, just beyond this mountain range here and the Snakewood. This up here is the Sword Coast, um, Candlekeep, Baldur's Gate, Neverwinter. All those things are all along here. Um, and my setting is Nashkel, a huge city here. Uh, Below this is the country of Amen, AMN. Well, they have made some attacks against Nashkel, done some other stuff against Nashkel. Uh, they have set up this tower where you can cast spells into Nashkel and affect the different things. They were going to be summoning elementals and um, doing things like fireball and stuff like that right directly into the city from this keep. They've stopped that from happening. Um, and so the last thing that they're going to be doing to prevent this all-out war from happening is they're going to be going under the city of Nashkel. And so what I did is I have this book called The Ruins of the Greyhawk. Ruins of Greyhawk. I know it's hard to see because XSplit doing its job, but Anyway, it's Ruins of Greyhawk. It is from 3rd edition. It might even be 3.5. Let me look here and see. It is written in, the first printing was in 2007. And I'm just looking to see, it says, pretty sure this is 3.5. It might be, yes, here it is. The product update material from the 3.5 revision. And so, but there's a whole section in here that I found that I can use. So I also purchased the PDF. Since I am not going to be selling this, I don't have to worry about copyright or anything like that. I'm just going to be using it for my own use. I could not turn around and after I convert it into Fantasy Grounds, sell it, for example, without contacting Wizards of the Coast and stuff like that. This is a very large book. I have no desire to go through all the trouble of doing it. Plus it's 3.5 anyway. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, if let me take a look here and see in my hard copy some of these images I was, there it is. Boom, page 43. So you can see here that there are all these levels, all these dungeons, stuff that they've put together in this book. Everything is detailed out. It's pretty well done. It isn't, like I said, so you've got maps, encounters, all these different stuff. So there's this one section that correlates with what I'm looking to do. So the concept that I've given the character so far is that underneath the city there is rumors of an artifact, and they were asked to check it out if they could. They didn't. They left. So another group was sent down there. Never came back. Their friend, the Dragonborn, who one of my players switched out one of his characters, he is also going to be down here. Unbeknownst to the people who sent them down there and everything else, the people of Amen are using this as a staging area to do for their spies, and for they're eventually planning on bringing troops down here to come up into the city. So what I've done is, we're going to hide this for a moment. So what I've done is I've taken the story, going into the story. If you look here, I've made a new one on Wednesday. So this is all my Wednesday group, my campaign, and made a new group. So if you need me to show you that, just put a question in the comment. I'll be glad to show that for you. I have under Nashkel. And I might break this out and have like under Nashkel 1, under Nashkel 2, depending on how long this takes and how far I want to push this out. But right now, there's a well outside the blacksmith in section J10, section BB. All that simply means is, oops, I hit the wrong button. Yeah, here, boom. So if we go to section, bye. So you guys have, if you watched my earlier streams, you've seen me, I took and I tweaked this map added the wall, the shadows, made everything green that was there, added a well. Right there is the well, added these buildings for the temple, um, and added the roads, because this is what it looked like before. Um, and so underneath this well has an illusory entrance that leads to an underground river. So you go down the well a little bit into this illusionary entrance, and then down below is the actual well. The tunnel leads to a platform with a dock. The river flows through this underground river. There are rocks with no land on either side, no landings or anything. It's just straight tunnel. Um, Leads to a platform with a boat. It's clear there's a space for a second boat, and along each wall is a rope 2 feet above the water, held aloft by a series of iron loops. The passengers can pull the boats using the ropes. So you pull yourself along, and that's how you get from A to B. And I even have a picture. Boom. So I have a couple different pictures that I was looking at using. So there's this one, turn off lighting. So I found this one, and I am also wanting to use this one. So I think the first thing I want to do is, so I'll decide later which one is going to be first. Probably this one, and then like this cave here, or some other, maybe this here. I'll have lead down into a more refined area. Um, but I might reverse it. I might have this section be first. But regardless of which one I choose to do, the first step is I want to get this map into Fantasy Grounds, because I want to be able to use this map as the player map. Um, Now, there are a couple different choices of what I can do. I think I'm going to keep this just as the DM's map, because the way this book is set up is anytime there's an encounter, they have a separate map. Um, so for example, let me see, page 72. In here, B5, it's a little hard to see my cursor because I'm on the PDF thing. In this dining room area right here, um, did I say 72 or 75? Here it is. So here's the, oops, what? I messed up, man. Just trying to make it smaller. So, go back, 75, I want to go to 72. Sorry, I never used PDF Reader before. Here we go. All right, so here is the room I was just showing you. And it's got a close-up map. All right, so because this has all the O's, all the creatures marked on it and stuff, I am going to go ahead and just use the map we were looking at a moment ago. So I'm going to use this as the player map. It doesn't mean I'm going to have to do a little bit of work to cover up all the different demarcations, but there's a couple different ways I can do that. So first things first, let's get the image. So there is a way to extract images from a PDF, and that's usually the first step that I do when I convert a PDF in for Fantasy Grounds. Uh, is You run the extraction for PDF. Google it. If you pay for Adobe Acrobat Reader, then it's very simple. If you don't, there are a couple free things out there depending on the size of the PDF you're using. But that's the first thing, is to extract all the images. And then you have the image simple, just resize it as you need to, and you're good to go. Because I don't have that, what we're going to do is we're going to try to, now this is a huge PDF. I don't know how well I can adjust this, but I'm going to try to get this so I can catch the bottom of it. Actually, I'm not going to worry about it because I don't think I can. Yeah, see, as soon as I try moving anything, it just goes nuts. Um, okay, there we go. It did work. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a snip. So using the snipping tool, which is right there. Boom, snipping tool. And then I'm going to grab the image. Now, I want to be as close as I plausibly can. So I want to be about right there. Yoink. All the way down. Make sure I have, boom. So there's my snip. So now I save this snip. And so my first question is this a map I will use in the future? Probably, possibly, who knows? I'm gonna say yes, just in case. So I'm putting it in this area I call Fantasy Grounds Maps. I am calling it I'll just call it Shatterstone because that's the name they gave it, Shatterstone. Save. So you can fix all of these things in Fantasy Grounds. So you can just make a layer, cover it, cover up all those little sections with a layer. And so all the B ones and all the notations could all be covered. Instead, I'm going to change the actual image itself. So what I do, I use, if you're familiar with Photoshop, that would be a great way of doing it. I don't pay for Photoshop. I don't use it enough to warrant paying for it. So what I do is I use what's called Pixlr, Pixlr.com. You've heard me mention it before. It's free. There's two different versions. I'll just show you what I would. This is the easiest to use photo editor, and then there's a powerful photo editor. They're both free um, with ads. So I'm going to use the Pixlr E. Open image. You can see I use a lot of it for D&D and stuff. So I am in. Why is my hero City of Heroes in my PC art? Boo. Okay, anyway. Pictures, Fantasy Grounds, Maps, and go to S for shatter. Cool. Shatterstone. Boink. By the way, hover over it to see how big it is. It is 623 by 792. All right, so it's pretty small, but it's okay. I can, so it just means when you zoom way in, it'll be a little pixelated. Not the end of the world. Seeing as how I don't have a whole lot of choice. What I will do real quick, there's a lot out there on the interwebs. Let's see if there is a Shatterstone map. All right, so close. There is this map I was just referencing for you guys. Remember? I was referencing this map. So that's cool. But nope, there is no actual Shatterstone map. I didn't think so, but I wouldn't have heard it. Maybe somebody scanned it in. That's the other thing you can do, and I've done before, is taken my scanner and scanned the actual hard copy in. I could also do a larger snip, make it more high graphic. Not really worried about it, so we're just going to stick with what we've got. And so what I'm going to do in here, use my photo editing software to simply clone. So find my clone stamp, see how big my brush is. We're going to make this down to about 20. There you go. And then we're going to start here. I'm going to put it right in the center of a square. And you can see it's basically just covering this up. Yeah, there are little circles there, but I'm not really concerned about the circles. Enough to where I want to worry about it. If I wanted to be really precise, if I hold it down and just wiggle it a little bit, it'll get rid of that circle, because the circle is there because it's just capturing the outside. I could also change this to like 25, and that would probably fix it. But you can see most of the stuff, boom, it's already done. Real quick and easy, I'm done with that. For this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start here in the center of this hex and slide it down this way, and it should cover that up and should make a hex. So let's see how close I get. All right, so I'm going to bring it down just a smidge here. There we go. That's pretty darn close. And I could keep messing with it and trying to get it precise. Go ahead and bring this down. Now, I will say that most times when I'm trying to find a map online, I prefer to get the maps without a grid, just because I don't like having to line up grids. Okay, we'll do the same thing we did before. Ooh, that one was good. Look at that. All right. Like I said, some of these I can just redo. Click, see? All right. Okay. Simple as that. It is done. I'm going to do this one again because it's a little, boom. All right. So all those parts are gone. All those parts are gone, and the sky is gray. Now we're going to save our image. Save. Shatterstone. Everything is the same. I'm going to download it. I'm going to make this 100 because I want it as good as I can get it. So download. So I'm going to download it. Just overwrite the same thing. Go down to Shatterstone. Where is it? Where is it? Where? Shatterstone. Save. Do you want to replace it? Yes. Okay, so we're done with that part. So what I would then do is go through, put in my line of sight. So start the way I personally do it, throw in my doors first, throw in my walls, and then go in for any terrain things I wanted to do, like the tables in the mess hall, and there's another table in a couple of the rooms. There's a bed. So I'd make all those terrain so people could hide behind them. Um, the key to those, by the way, is if you go through the trouble of making something a terrain object, like a table, what a terrain object is, by the way, if you make it a wall, you can't go through that area. So if I made this table a wall, then somebody could stand over here. If the party was here and the person was standing behind it, they would not be able to see through it. If you may, and you could not also move through the table at all, and ever. If you make it a terrain, because there's a couple different things. One, you can jump onto the table, which means you can then see all around it. You can see completely through it. You can also turn it off. So if you have a tall person, or your party is tall, and uh, you can turn off the terrain so that everybody can see through those things. Then, if like a halfling or a small kobold or something small runs behind it, you can then turn it back on. Now you can't see that player, that creature, because it's hidden. That type of thing. So you can turn them on, toggle them on and off. And like I said, and you can also jump on them. So that's the reason why you do terrain. Um, Same thing with like here, like this ledge. If this was, say this was a 20-foot ledge, well, if you were on it, you could see down below. But if you're down below, you can't see on it. So that's why the difference between making it a train and putting a wall, the people on top wouldn't see down below. As a train, they could. Stuff like that. So if you have more questions about terrain versus walls and stuff, again, leave comments. I'll be glad to explain it better. Show you, give you some examples. Um, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these and start building what is in each room. And we're going to do that here. So I think in this case, I'm going to make Shatterstone its own story entry. How do you do that? Well, it's pretty simple. So we delete this. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the story entry, leave this map up here for a second, go to my stories, Wednesdays under Nashkel, and then I'm going to create new one, right click, create item. This is going to be under Nashkel. Wow, I don't know what happened there. My mind is totally disconnected now. It's like random having Tourette's typing. All right, Shutterstone. So now I'm going to take this and pin it onto my map. Boink. Um, Actually, I lied. This does not, I don't want that one. Delete the shortcut. What I want is the well. Here it is. So I'm putting, what does it say? Okay, I already have that link. See, I already know what I'm doing. But I'm going to put it closer to here so it's less confusing. All right, so now, so the reason was I wanted to have this linked. So if I have the map open, I can just click it and this will pop up. Q, 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 boom, boom. So now we have our Shatterstone story entry. And go back to my book. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start by copying and pasting the whole bit here. I'll do the first room and the introduction area so you can see how to do this. Copy and paste. Now, when you paste it, it's going to look weird. See, it's going to it has returns on every single line. It doesn't, secret entry and stuff. So what you do is Control A, highlights it, and then Control J. So now you've gone from one extreme to the other, but that's fine. What you do is you look at your original text, and typically, so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and minimize my fantasy grounds window. So I can have them side by side. Okay, so here's my original. So, and then all you do is look at where it says, okay, so it says level of the dungeon, all the ceilings. All the ceilings. So right there, you click, boom. And then it says dark vision, none. Dark vision, none. And the last one is secret entry. So you go here, boom, secret entry. And then read or paraphrase the following to them. And then stands wide open this. Boom. So this is Control 3. It's text that's read to them that you put in chat for them. So what will happen is you can just click this, boom, and there it is. Tells you that's ready for the player to read. And then we have 20 years old, this. Boom. And there we go. We have our first section done. I'm going to go ahead and put Control 2, Shatterstone, come down here to this entry, this section, Control 2. So Control 1 is your normal text. Control 2 is your paragraph heading. Control 3 is your quoting. I don't remember what Control 4 is. Control 4 the table? Yeah, Control 4 is a bullet point. Control 5 is a link, looks like. And then Control 6 is your table. And all you do is just highlight within it, click it. You can also right click. So I can go here, right click in the paragraph, and it says paragraph types. And you've got table, link, list, chat frame, heading, and body text. So these are in order. If you read like a clock, so Control 1, 2, 3, 4, Control 5, 6. And then it could just say, oh, okay, I want this to be a chat frame. Boom. There you go. Control 1 to put it back the way it was. So there we go. I've got my entry. I've got my stuff. I'm ready to go. What I want to do here, though, is I want to put the link to, if there is a DM map and player map, I want to put those links up right here at the beginning. That's how I prefer to do it. The other thing you can do is you can go through and make each one of these its own story entry. So B1, B2, because they're all different places, you can then link each pin, each story entry within the map. and then you could just click that and open up that one room. I don't know that I'm going to do that yet. I might break up some of these into their own entries. More than likely not. Um, if I was doing this for a conversion, absolutely. I have tons of story entries in a conversion like this. But for my own personal use, I'm just going to leave it with one link. What I will do is each encounter, pictures, things like that, those will be linked within the map. But what about the map? Where is this map that I keep referring to? We already clipped it. We corrected it. So let's go find it. Pull back up my, come on, File Explorer. So there's my JPEG. So what I do is I go to where I find it, where I saved it, right here in Fancy Grounds Maps. Now I go to my, you notice I have these pinned, by the way. So this is Fancy Grounds Classic. This is Fancy Grounds Unity. So I'm going to right click on this to open it up in a new window. And now I'm going to go to my images for my Fancy Grounds. So because I'm going to be using this in multiple campaigns, I'm going to first put it in images. And all I do is I just come over here. This says move to images. I don't want to move it. I just want to copy it. So I have it selected. Control C, click over here, Control V. There it is, Shutterstone. So the other thing, now I'm going to go here into Fancy Grounds. I'm actually going to put it in my campaign. I can access it from images, but in this particular case, I want to put it in the Wednesdays campaign. Now I go into images. Boom, I've already got it copied, so I'll just Control V and paste it. So now it's here. So now I can access it, right? It's ready to go. I just go to Assets and open it. Is that right? Is it? Is it? Is it? It's a quiz. See if you pass. Shatter. It's not here. We have all selected. We're typing in Shatterstone. So why isn't it here? Because we did not hit refresh folder assets. So now we click. You look in the chat over here, folder assets refreshed. Ta-da! There it is. So one says data, the other says campaign. So we have two now, our assets are there. So we go to the one that's for campaign, open it, create image record. Now we take the image, we drop it in, image Shatterstone, boom. We are ready to rock and roll. So we have our story entry. Everything is awesome. So what I can do is I can go to the image, blow it up a little bit. We're going to go to drop this toggle toolbar, zoom to fit. And we're going to put in our grid. All right, so there is a way to do this. Let's see. I don't usually do it this way, so I don't remember exactly how to do this. Let's see, is it set grid with mouse? So I'm going to zoom in, zoom, zoom, set grid with mouse. And then I'm just going to take it from the corner. zoom out and see, check the corners and see if it still fits the grid. All right, so it does. So now that the grid is there, we simply take it and make it go away. Click on the color picker, take the opacity and just turn it off. Because we don't need it because it already has a grid on the actual map itself. All right, so we are ready to go. Like I said, we can add line of sight, other things on here as well. This is a really well done map, so I don't have to worry about adding more stuff to the map itself. It's really well done. Some of the maps are very, that you find online and stuff are very plain, or if you build your own, it starts off plain. But this has all the details, all the stuff. It's really well done, real well drawn, stuff like that. Now, if there are any kind of traps, in this particular one, there aren't any traps. I do think I am going to replace these statues with actual statues, tokens and stuff. So these three things I'll fix later. And this thing, I'm not sure what this is. I don't remember. I don't remember it being a trap here. So I'm not sure what that is. Let's see. This is, go to our room and we will click, click. This room is the personal chamber, oops, the fortress. Let's minimize this a little bit so we can see everything. Here it is. Yeah, it doesn't say anything about it. It might be here on page 76. So let's go to page 76 and see what it says. Features of the area. All right, so there's there is a pit trap. Okay, so just in front of the door leading from B13 is a covered pit trap. All right, so again, I'll just cover this up, maybe put a rug or just go back into the, I just forgot that. I should have copied and done the same thing I did with the other ones, but I forgot. So I can do the same thing. In this particular case, I'll probably just make a layer to cover it with dirt or something. I don't know. I'll figure that out when I get to that point. I'll probably just open it up like I did before. It's still in the software I was using. So I'll just open it up in this software. Hey, Tomic, how you doing? Looking at a new map I just threw in here from this PDF. And there we go. So, and the other option you have, like I said, is you can use these individual maps and make a bunch of different maps. You could even layer them. So I could put this map, and then when we get to this section, I could layer it on top, so it'll have more detail. You know, if you look at this compared to this, it can be less pixelated, stuff like that. So you have a lot of different ways of handling these individual encounters and what you want to do. So to finish up what I was saying with this map, I am going to open it back up in pixlr.com, get rid of this blatantly obvious pit trap that's here, and then that room will be ready to use. That's the only thing on this map that I forgot to cover up. Like I said, I'll go through and get rid of these statues markers and put actual statues there. as you're reading the rooms. Also the secret door, that's the other thing I need to do here is if you look at this, there's a secret door here. So I will cover that up as well. There's a couple of secret doors. I can cover that up in the same pixlr.com. Overwrite those real quick. So that's where we, so let's go ahead and finish up our story entry. So we go back to the page we were on, which is page 58. So as I mentioned at the top of the show, I've got the book. I paid for the book. It's actually from my late father's books I got from him. And then I bought the PDF. So this is all legal and good to go. So we're at B1. We'll finish up B2. Again, you just grab it, copy it. Now, you have two choices here. You can paste it and then just highlight. We don't want to do Control A this time because it'll grab everything that's already there. So we just highlight it and do Control J. And then we go through, put in our paragraph breaks. This is a paragraph entry. A level above is the paragraph break. Boom. And then we go skip a couple pages over because next one is the map. And we just go bloop. Now, because I'm doing so much, I'm going to show you the other option. Control C. The other option is using Notepad++. So here we go. Notepad++. So you can see I have a lot of different things here. Let me see. What is this? Okay, I know what that is. Here we go. So I'm pasting it in here. Now I have a special macro set up. And what the macro does is, yeah, Atomic Hero Squad says Notepad++ is good software. I agree. It's also free. Makes it even better. So what I'm doing is I'm going to Control A, Control J, copy it. I have a macro that does all three things. I'm not going to use the macro because I'm trying to show you guys what's going on. But take all this, Control A, Control J, and then Control C. Like I said, I have a macro, so when I'm doing conversions myself, I just copy, slap it in there, hit the macro, it does all this, and then I just come here and paste it. Boom. So all you do is you just go to, move this over a little bit. Next one is locked all. Enter. And then months. Boom, boom. Go back up here, hit Control 2 while we're here. Looking for under. So I did blow up the scale so you guys can see a little bit better. It's at 104 to be exact. Because we're not actually reading any of this stuff and interacting with the actual words, that's why it's still a little small, especially for people on a phone. I'm really sorry, but for those of you on a PC, you can see most of it. The point is, I'm just doing more of how to do a conversion from a PDF to Fantasy Grounds. So you'll notice this is italics. That's because that's to be read to the players. So that's a Control 3. And again, if you forget what all the controls are, don't worry about it. And he's like, oh man, I don't want to share this to the players. Um, this is a export it to chat, by the way. See, boom, right there. The players to description. If you don't want that and you forget, just right click, paragraph type. And again, this is the same control number in clockwise order. So control 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, control 6. Body text. I want a body text. No, I do want to put it in a thing. Control 3. Very simple, very quick. All right. Lid the 2. Now you'll notice this is at the end of the paragraph. You still want to do it because this is based on the size of the window, not based on the actual text. All right. Merchant caravans, the only. This is a longer one. Investigate B5. So it makes it simple because we're just going down here. Boom. So this is the life of a converter. Oops, wrong button. Control 2. Of a person who does conversions for Fantasy Grounds. This is what I do for hours and hours. Making the big bucks. So usually, if I was converting this, and I'll work while I'm doing this. The way it would work is the book itself. Let's say, so this particular book is $34.95. So if it was 35 bucks. So if it were to sell on DM's Guild for VTT, Virtual Tabletop, Fantasy Grounds, or Roll20. This does not work in Roll20, by the way. They're two separate conversion processes. Anyway, if you to use it for Fantasy Grounds, say it would sell for 35 bucks, the author would get a certain percentage every time somebody buys it. DM's Guild gets a percentage, the author gets a percentage, and then because I did the conversion work, I get a small percentage. It's obviously smaller than the other two. But the cool thing is, these things don't go out of style. They don't go bad. So 15 years from now, if Fantasy Grounds is still being used, somebody could buy it and I would get that small percentage. So that's what we do as converters. So getting back to this in the fireplace, this is a story entry. And there's a whole process. There's a really good PDF that Rob Toohey has made that takes you step by step. There's a video that goes with it as well. Fantasy Ground version X. That's right. It's going to be virtual reality by that time. And then we have an attack on site, tactical encounter. Boom. So if this is something that you're curious in doing, whether it's for yourself and you really have a large project you want to do, or Fantasy Grounds now has a forge, so you can make your own stuff, then definitely post in the comments. I can give you some more details. I can point you to the video that Rob Toohey makes. There's some really good stuff. So with this tactical encounter, the way the book is written, this book is set up a little different. Like I said, it's on different pages. So we'll get to that part later. Okay, additional developments I'll make there. And by the way, tactical encounter is bolded, so I don't need to right now because I'm not going to worry about that. But you can bold. You can also italicize, and you can also underline. So all the stuff you can normally do in some, well, not all the stuff, but a lot of the stuff you could do in the way you see it in a PDF, you could do it here in FantasyCons as well. All right, and so that's pretty much checking my time. So we've been here for an hour. So that's Control 3, Control 2. What you would do, almost done with this. We've got a couple more characters. Boom. Then we have B7. Control 2. The only secret, here it is. Boom. And that leads us to B8. This is there we go. So now we've done that full page of stuff. We have a lot of details here. And then what I will be doing is I will then go through, read this, change it, because as I said, I'm personalizing this storyline for my campaign. And then as I go through where this encounter was, I'll click on encounters, go to my Wednesdays, and then I'll make it match. So it'll be under Nashkel Shatterstone 1, under Nashkel Shatterstone 2. I might just put UN, abbreviated UNS B2, UNS B5, stuff like that is what I'll make the encounter. And that way, and when I'm done with the encounter, I take the link, add it to that room. I will then take the link, add it to the map so that I see it on a map, I see it in the story, I have access to both. The other thing I want to do is I want to click this and put this on the map. So now, just looking at the map, I also have access to the story itself. So I have access to where the story is, so I know where all these things are. If you make individual story entries for each room, which is what I would normally do, then you just link each individual story entry to each individual room. So it makes it really easy to run, really easy to use. So again, if you have questions, comments, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I'll be glad to answer them for you. I do always answer all the comments. All right, so I think what I want to do before I forget is I am going to change these and fix these secret doors because I don't want them to be visible. So we're going to run a few minutes late since I've got Atomic hanging around. Show some of my wrong button. Pixlr.com, the e-version. I've already got this open, loaded rather. So what I did before the clone, so the clone was 20 before size-wise the brush was. I'm going to make it a little less just because I want to have a little bit more control. So I want it to be about 15-ish. 14, good enough. So now you're like, Sven, how in the world are you going to do copy and paste of a secret door? What I do is I find a wall like this. There's another one I think was a little clearer. This one doesn't have all this both of those have extra stuff. So I'm looking at like this wall here has the door, but other than that, where did I see a wall? Okay. So it looks like my best bet without a bunch of detritus around it is either up here or here. So let's go with down here, just because. So we put this as our start spot right in the middle of the square. So we have a reference spot. Click. There we go. So now we go right in the middle of the square. We will zoom in a little bit. Right in the middle of the square. And carefully and slowly move up. Boom. All right, so if we want to be precise, we'll move it so we were in the center of the square. We're going to slide up just a smidge and see if we can get it better. There we go. Boom. Look at that. You would never know it was there. I saw another one down below here. I thought there was one that was going the same direction. Let's see. There it is. So we're going to do the same thing. So here's the center of the square and go up a smidge. Like a glove. See? Now, you would never know there's a secret door there. Ooh, I got a round of applause from Atomic. Thank you, thank you. So now we're going to do the same thing for these sideways secret doors. Find a good, clear, clean wall section. We have two secret doors we need to cover, this one and that one. And I think I will pull my clone from up here. So this has a bunch of stuff on it. This does not. So we're going to go right here. I'm going to zoom in, and I believe it's Shift. Click to make a new spot. Again, I want to go right in the middle so I know where I'm pulling from. Shift, click. I think that's right. We'll see. It's what this software uses. So now we go here and we click. Yeah, I was correct. Boom. Beautimus, beautimus. And then we go down here to the other one. Where did he go? Where did he go? All right, so the only difference here is the line. This is a little messed up anyway. So, and this is the inside of the secret door. So I'm not as concerned. We'll see what happens here. We'll see how close we can get. By being very gentle. Yeah. Yeah. So let's take a look. Looks good. Looks good. A little odd pixel here and there, but for the most part, it looks fine. And by the way, so now what we do, just make. Did I miss anything? Did I? Don't think I did. Those secret doors were the only ones that I needed to fix. Okay, perfect. So now what we do is we save it in the same three spots. So we go to save. So Fantasy Grounds Maps. You can backspace and get rid of that one, or what I do is I just click on the image itself. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. Argue with me again, see what happens. Download. Save. Download. And now I'm going into my Fantasy Grounds Schmiteworks. Go to my images, because I have it here. Boom. Save. Yes, I want to replace it. Save. This time I'm going into my campaigns, because I moved it and copied it and put it into 3 different places. Remember, folks? Wednesdays, images, boom, save. Do you want to replace it? Yes. Boom, boom. Now we go here, we close it, go to our assets. Don't forget, we need to refresh folder assets. It says it right here in the chat. So now when I go to type in shatter, and I look at my thing, it does not have the secret doors. Since I've already made an image, let's see, images, go to, it's in all. And you'll notice, even though I made pulled it and made a, so when you open it up in assets, it's just here. And this is a preview. Create image record. That's what I was trying to remember, though, the exact wording of. So even though I made an image record for the campaign, it automatically updates it. So there's no secret doors. And by the way, like I said, these are going to, I understand that these are a little pixelated. I could always, if I wanted to, I could go in to my assets. I have all, so let's go with bed space. What? Is it without the space? I know I have a bunch of beds. Maybe, there we go. So I could take one of these beds, this one for example, and slap it on top of that. So that way, so you're like, oh man, it's so pixelated. Well, go into my layers, select the bed, slide it over, change it to 2, change it to 2.3. There we go. Now I have a bed that's not pixelated. So I could do that with all these different the different assets and stuff, but I really don't care. It's not, like I said, this is such a well done map. The other option would be, like I said, to find a higher quality, a higher DPI, dots per inch map. I think if because I made a snip of this, I think if I made the original image bigger and then took a snip of it, it would make it a higher quality. I'm not really sure exactly how that works, but I'm pretty sure that would make it a higher quality. I could also scan it in, use the actual image itself in the book, use my scanner, and make a higher quality. So all those things are things, if it's really important to you, those are ways to make this better. Zinlu, hey, preeminent world builder himself. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, so those are your different options if you want to make it a higher quality map. Welcome, Zinlu. Zinlu has been having some uh, technical difficulties with where he lives, uh, and so it's been taking him a while. But a lot of it has now been resolved. Upgraded some of his equipment and also some of his physical lines to his house, so that makes it a little bit better. He's got better ability to stream again. So check him out. Uh, he does some really cool stuff. You've heard about me talk. You've heard me talk about his stream before. You've got Atomic Hero Squad who's there every morning. Great way, consistently Monday through Friday. First 3 hours of the day. It's a great way to start your day. Lots of different games. Doesn't do the same thing every time, hours on end. Uh, so check out Atomic Hero Squad. Zinlu has some really unique games. A lot of things where you're crafting, not Minecraft stuff. We're talking next level stuff where you're um, Satisfactory is one of the games he plays. He does another one where you're in the middle of space and you're ripping abandoned ships and satellites, space stations apart, scavenging them and things. So check him out. He does some really cool stuff uh, and very unique stuff. And as I've said before, these are games I would not play, honestly, myself. But I enjoy watching Zenu play them because he makes it interesting and he interacts well with his the people that are watching. And it's really cool. I enjoy watching him play these games. And biggest shout out that I've had in years goes to Zinlu because he showed me a game that I thought was gone forever. I had played City of Heroes for years, um, probably 3 or 4 years. Put tons and tons of hours into it. Played it with my father, played it with my son, um, and I had these. You're a superhero or a villain, and you have different badges and things. And I had these 8.5 by 14 pages. The sheets of paper that are 8.5 by 14. I bought a notebook that held them, and printed off page for each of my characters to find all these badges because there's like 200 badges or something like that they can find. I had a special thing online that showed me where all the badges were, the location badges were that I had incorporated into my program and stuff. I love this game. It was so much fun. Life happened and City Heroes went away. And every 3 or 4 years I would check. I think I checked twice in the last 10 years. It just didn't exist. Then I saw him playing it and I was like, what? And sure enough, it exists again. And I've just started getting into it. And of course, I am obsessed again. I've been playing it during my lunches. I only have half an hour of a lunch and it takes like 3 minutes to get my computer all set up. So I'm playing it for like 20 minutes during my lunch when I can. Um, and playing it uh, I know when I'm done with work, I have like 45 minutes before I start my gaming session, so I'll squeeze in another half an hour there. So I've been just um, loving this game, playing it. I've already got it's been like 2 days, 3 days, and I've already put in like 3 hours, 3 4 hours into this game. I'm going to be streaming it absolutely. I've got a couple different ideas on different streaming for what I'm going to do for City of Heroes. But this is my D&D stream, so I'll go over that later. But if it's something you're interested in, keep an eye out for it. Thursdays, I'm going to set a particular time for it, and I'm going to have I'm going to build a hero for the stream and only play that hero during my stream on Thursday mornings. Go through, if you guys watch live, you'll be able to help me pick different missions and different things that you want me to do, different powers and stuff. And then I'm also going to have another one that I stream whenever I randomly stream. That'll probably be my villain, but we'll see. Anyway, we're going to wrap up this stream. I've been going for just over hour and a half, just right around an hour and a half. We'll wrap this up real quick. Um, so this, what we did cover today was what I do when I convert things, and the reason I did it when I convert things for Fantasy Grounds and make it for you guys, uh, for people to use, because I was doing this for my own campaign, and um, so we went over grabbing an image, pulling it into Fantasy Grounds, grabbing the text from the PDF, how to set up a new story entry, how to link all that within the images, and vice versa, how to link the image within the story. Um, so I now have the bare basics for my campaign, and now I'll just go in, tweak it, personalize it, get it all set up and ready to go for my players come in. If nothing else, I at least have a map and the basic story ideas in Fantasy Grounds. So if my characters surprise me and run in straight in here, I can at least wing it from here. I've got enough to run with it. So thank you all for hanging out with me, Zinlu, Atomic. I appreciate you very much. Um, I am gonna be jumping onto City Heroes myself because I uh, I have an appointment at noon, but my family's not back, so I'm waiting for them to get back. So I'll jump on there and play for a little while. But hey, like, subscribe. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Like I said, I always answer every comment that I get on my YouTube videos. Um, if you have other questions, things that you want to know about, check out my YouTube videos. I have prepping for Starfinder and prepping for Dun Dungeons and Dragons. I try to put a little blur in the blurb, describe what it does, what I talk about, I mean, in each of those ones. Or just like I said, leave a comment and I will be happy to dedicate the next stream to that. Speaking of the next stream, tomorrow, 10:30, I'll be doing Starfinder prep. And then tomorrow night, we're going to see how this group handles um, some of the stuff that I've thrown together for them. It's the Nashkel Homebrew campaign. All this stuff is on YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Whatever else you do, enjoy the rest of your day.